Hi, this is Mary Pagano, and I'm with Hera TV. And I want to introduce you to a lovely woman, Lucia Stanislas. And I have trouble with my S's, but I think I made it. But anyway, she's a very dear friend to us at Hera. And so we're going to have a chat. So as we get started here, so Lucia, I have a question for you. Tell me about yourself. Who is
Oh,
Lucia?
just a little bit. Okay, that's a hard question usually. I've been on the quest of finding out about myself all these years. But I guess I'll start by saying that probably I could be what I do. So I like entrepreneurship. I like to help people. So I consider myself these days as a social entrepreneur. I like to support causes such as the women empowerment cause and the youth empowerment as well. And I've been doing a lot of mentoring for young people, emerging entrepreneurs in Angola. So because of that, I consider myself as a mentor. Well, and then I play other roles. I have a 3-year-old boy, Marcus. I'm a mother, a wife, a sister, an auntie, all of those things.
That's a lot of roles. That's a lot of
Yes,
roles. Yes.
yes.
So I understand you're the president of WICCI for
Mhm.
Angola.
Mhm.
So tell me about that. What is the mission that you guys are doing for Angola?
Yes. So the women empowerment cause is really what WICCI is about. And I've been about that cause for the last, let me say, 4 years. I'm also the ambassador for Women's Entrepreneurship Day. So I joined WICCI because of that same cause, because of that same purpose. So in Angola with WICCI, what we did was to mobilize a lot of women that have some kind of influence in the socioeconomic world in Angola. We are about 20 women, 20 powerful and strong women working together to see if we can create some kind of impact into the lives of women in the business world in Angola. So we just started our first event, our inaugural event took place in February. And from then we've been just creating a space or the proper framework in order for us to push forward the mission of empowering women. We've been pursuing partnerships with institutions in the public sector, institutions in the private sector, as well as social sector, so that we can continue to push forward the mission of empowerment, women empowerment in business.
Oh, nice. Brilliant. So, you've got a lot of experience with Angola. So what do you think are like some of the biggest issues that the women face there? Challenges? What do they need most?
I believe women need most, well, I don't want to sound so esoteric, but it's the self-knowledge. Women, before anything, they need to understand their power. Before we start the empowerment process in the society, wherever they are, in the corporate world, in the entrepreneurship world, they need to know their power. Women need to know that. So that's a challenge. That's challenge number one. Challenge number two is capacity building. a holistic capacity building, not just intellectual, academic. We women need to understand certain things, especially in the modern days. And in Angola, because we are a closed culture, meaning that your individuality is usually not so stressed, it's not so emphasized. So we need to go into that path of knowing ourselves in order for us to position ourselves in the society and then in the in the business world. So that's a big challenge because we don't necessarily have support systems for that, because there's not awareness. There's not enough awareness in order for those support service systems to be established in Angola. And then that's the number one thing. And then in terms of policies, we still have a lot of gap in terms of policies to favor women in the workforce, in the private sector, programs to help women with their business ventures, with their enterprises, etc. We still have a lot of challenge in that. And the work and life balance, I guess it goes to the first point that I mentioned here, work-life balance. It falls under that category of lack of support systems for women to grow and thrive. So these are the main challenges in a nutshell. There are many. So I would know, I would stay here speaking for a long time, but these are the main ones in my view.
You know, that work-life balance, I don't know if anybody will ever get it right, because you're raising children, you're doing jobs, maybe one, maybe two, maybe three, right? And somewhere in between, you need to have a life for yourself. I mean, obviously, women are so dedicated to take care of their children, but, you know, and then work, right? But then when do they have time for themselves, right? That whole self-love that puts them in first place, so that way they can take care of their family. But yeah, if anybody gets it right, I want to know the rest.
Me too. Me too.
So have you been to Angola recently, or?
Yes, I was there the whole year of 2020. Unfortunately, my husband wasn't there. I was just there with my son because of the pandemic and all of that. So we came back to the States in December. But of course, my base is in Angola. So I'm always there. People ask me, when are you coming back? I'm always there with you. All these lives on Instagram and Facebook talking. So yeah, that's when we came back. Now we're just taking some time for family time, quality time.
There you go. Got to have that. So how was the COVID in Angola? Are people okay? Was it you know, everywhere? How was the COVID there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as it is in many other places in Europe or in the States. I think they did a very good job in terms of those security measures initially. We had the lockdown like from the beginning. The numbers were not increasing rapidly as in many other places. It was 1 case, 2 cases each day. So now, of course, that they opened the now people that are traveling, so there is that traffic in and out of the country. But I believe from what I see, the numbers, it's pretty much controlled. It's pretty much controlled. It's not as bad as other places, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Everybody be all right. So I have an interesting question for you. So and since you're helping female entrepreneurs, what is the best advice that you give to a female entrepreneur starting out? What are things that she needs to know or would be helpful for her?
Yeah, that I mentioned before, the personal power. As an entrepreneur, you have to cultivate this mindset. You have to be at a place where you are always ready for the unexpected. And in my country, for instance, since it's a developing economy, many aspects of the market change very drastically overnight. And so that mindset of persistence, that mindset of readiness for anything has to be cultivated. So I talk a lot about my number one thing that I share with women entrepreneurs is to cultivate the mindset. Once you are aware of your personal power and you cultivate that mindset of persistence, toughness, in the sense that, that toughness, that's so tough, to the point that we're going to lose our femininity, but toughness just to be able to respond to the challenges that are that come with the entrepreneurship. So those two things, personal power and mindset, proper mindset.
Proper mindset. I like that. I like that. And yes, exactly. Another question I have for you. I don't know how much you know about Hera. Did Marinella tell you about Hera and what we were up to?
Yes, we had a conversation. Recently we had a conversation, and I was so amazed by the work she has done. And I had never, till the time I spoke to her, I had never heard about Hera. And when I heard about it, it was just so mind-blowing. And I love it. I mean, the concept of creating a village for women, that support system that we need. I think Hera is promoting that, is fostering that. So congratulations for that. But it is amazing the work that Hera is doing. I still need to dive into the Hera world, because it seems like a whole universe of things.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm open, I'm willing to do that as much as I can in the near future.
Perfect. Well, so Hera City, it's going to be a city bigger than a village.
City. Yeah, I said
village.
City.
So be ready for that. Yeah, we're in negotiations with a location now. We're pretty excited. Hopefully we'll get the land contract signed. So we're very thrilled about it. The architect is out of Paris. He's already designed the 3 major components of the city, which will be the convention center, the museum, and then an institute, a university based on the future of humanity studies. So it's going to be a city for the future of humanity, to have all genders, all religions, all nationalities, all cultures, and with a strong theme in honor of the woman. So we feel very strongly there should be one city on this planet that lifts up women around the world, right? That values women, right? We are 51% of the global population. So I think there should be one city that represents us. And I think that the female, emotional, quotient of how we take care of family and kids and community and work and home and all that kind of stuff, that we have it down on how to live. So and we've got tons of cities with tall buildings and everything about the you making money, right? I think it's important that we embrace our planet and embrace our humanity. So we'll get it done.
Yes, that sounds exciting.
So what I want to ask you is, what do you think are some of the important things that the city would need to have in order to support the women or honor the women? What would you think were important things? And it can be you know, whatever, right?
Well, what you mentioned is basically what a woman needs, that component of connection. The first aspect that you mentioned, it came to me as connection between women, because there is so much power in connecting. And then education, you also mentioned that education and art, we need to enjoy creativity, we need to enjoy all of those things. But I also think that we need to connect to us, but also to the energy of femininity. If you have in that city, you know, maybe a resort or two or more, for us to go and connect and learn more about the woman body and things like that, that would be great. I thought of something else, but it just flew. That was something crazy that I thought about. But anyway, if I remember, I'll tell you about that.
It will pop into your brain. Absolutely.
Yes. Mhm.
Well, we also have a mobile partner at fem-foundry.com. And our mobile partner is connecting women all over the world on a social media mobile platform. So think of it like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, but for women and focused in on female empowerment and all those subjects that we need help with, whether it's parenting or career or work or lifestyle or health, right? We want to create that community where women can chat amongst each other very easily. So you can find it on our website. So if you go to heracity.org, you'll
Okay.
find our Fem Foundry mobile partner. And it's really important, you know, that a woman from Angola could talk to a woman from Singapore and learn a new way to do something, right? So we've got so many skills and we've got
Yeah.
so much talent around the world. Now it's just a matter of getting strong and united, so we can help each other, because I think we're all kind of facing some of the same challenges around the world in different
Yeah.
variations. So that's also available, and love for you to share it with your women,
Yes.
your organization. So and then of course Hera has a perfume that we're going
Yeah,
to
I
be.
heard.
Did Marinella tell you about that?
Yeah, she told me about that.
So it's the scent to unite women around the world. And, you know, we want women to buy a perfume that supports women. So all the proceeds go to projects around the world that female entrepreneurs are doing to help humanity and the planet. So we've got a number of projects where the funds are going. One of our ambassadors is doing human trafficking, which is a big challenge in Mexico, but it is all over the world actually. So that's the thing. I mean, when women step up, we get it done.
Yes, it's true. So much power, yeah. And the culture, you know, the culture, I think that's what I thought. The culture of giving. I think I have a theme. Every year I try to have a theme. And I invite my husband to share that theme with me for the family. One year he came up with flowers. But this year I said, you know, it's gonna be something that has to do with me as a woman. It has to do with nurture and nature.
Oh, brilliant.
Nurture and nature, because I do believe instead of us thinking of getting, or receiving, as women, in order for us to receive, we really need to give or to nurture. In nature, I mean, it's just so natural that we are in nature. I just chose two words that kind of sound different. I mean, similar. So if we can have that culture of giving in the city, we'll also, and nurturing, and you know, it'll also be a great thing to nurture.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I think that's brilliant. You know, what people forget is the more that you give, the more that you receive in regards to because the love is in the giving, not in the receiving. And I think that is absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's our we need to take care of our planet, and whether we're nurturing our family, our community, our planet, right? We know how to do that. So I love that, and that whole giving piece. Um, you know, I think it gets ignored a little bit, and I think especially what everybody's gone through, I think you're right on, Lucia. I think you're right on. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So I'm about ready to wrap up this interview, and I really enjoyed the time spent with you. Is there anything else that you would like to share that you want people to know about you and what you're up to?
I think I just shared. I'm about nurturing and nature, spending a lot of time in nature. I'm very concerned these days about mental illness.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very concerned about and that survival mode in terms of the pandemic. But I just recently I heard that. Um, the next pandemic really will be mental illness. And so in nature, you know, if we just take time to nurture our bodies first before we go out and nurture our families, our communities, and the world, we really need to take care of ourselves. Self-care is key. If we're going to change, if we are in the mission of changing the world, if we are in the mission of empowering other women to change the world, you know, as a result of that empowerment, then we need to take care of ourselves. And as we go out in the world, that energy will just so, you know, will be transmitted in a very natural way. So I've been about this lately, and I'm doing this, I'm focusing on those two things for myself, for my family, but I do believe that the whole world needs this. The whole world needs, in a nutshell, bottom line, love.
Brilliant. Right on. That is so good. Brilliant. Oh, so Lucia, thank you so much for your time today. I'm going to wrap up this call here real quickly. Don't hang up on me because we'll continue our conversation. So this is Mary Pagano with Lucia Stanislas, and thank you for joining in with us today. And if you want to find out anything about Hera, go to www.heracity.org. And thank you for listening to us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.